What is up, Team Happy and Fit? It is Tuesday. It's my favorite day. I say that every freaking week, but I really, really mean it. I am so excited about tonight. First and foremost, before we get started, next week is the launch of Morning Meltdown 100. Who did the workout? Comment in the comments. Wasn't it so awesome? What did you love about it? I loved the variety. I loved the music, of course, and I just loved how fast it went. I did a lot of the modifications, tried a couple lightning bolts, that's what they're called, and in my head, I'm crushing it. Like, in my head, I'm crushing it, and so I cannot wait to actually fully do it. I loved that I could do all of the modifications and still feel like I got an excellent workout. I feel like there was almost like a modifier and then a modifier who mod the modifier, right? Like, is that a word? I don't know. But that's how I felt. And I really love that. I really do think she did say too much. See, I should pay attention some more, right? Is that I feel like anyone can do this. So I'm really excited. We have a sneak peek page all for you to invite people to. That sneak peek is for you, for your current customers, bod users, whoever, your coaches, and then also for any new people. So definitely take advantage of that. You as a coach can get your package starting on Monday. And I have a group set up for all of Happy and Fit that we will use for us, for coaches, for your current customers and clients, and then for future ones with Morning Meltdown 100. So you don't have to worry about anything other than getting people into that group. Okay, enough of me. Let's move on to Amanda. I met Amanda over 5 years ago. Eric and I went to Alpena, Michigan, most snow I've ever seen in my entire life. And we played volleyball together. And I remember that you guys were doing this beach body thing. I thought you got fit on a beach. I didn't really understand it. And I just remember hearing a Zoom. You guys were talking about it a little bit. And it really sparked a lot of my curiosity. One, I've never seen a community take pictures after a workout together. That was just not something that was normal to me after a workout or whatever. And that really just started to I'm an observer. So I observed in February, that was in February, and I ended up joining in May. So actually, Amanda is a part of our upline, which is really, really cool to have her here. You guys, Amanda has unwavering faith and belief in Shakeology, and she is going to bring it to us. Make sure you take notes. Thanks for turning on your video, being present. Thank you for hopping on this call. Amanda, it is such a treat to have you speak to Team Happy and Fit. Welcome, sister.
Oh my gosh, Julianne, you are the best. You guys are so lucky to have Julianne leading this team. I remember that summit sitting next to Julianne. We were listening to a speaker, and Julianne and I have both had some difficulties in our past, and we looked at each other and we were both crying, and we were like, we're going to do this. And look at her freaking go. She has been a rocket ship ever since. My journey's been a little slower, but still very successful, and I'm really happy with where I'm at in the business now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first, and then I do have a presentation for you. So like Julianne said, my name is Amanda. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years. This month, my husband and I just went on a trip to Seattle. It was super fun to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary. I went to college for education. I taught kindergarten for 6 years. But then we had our son, Grayson, and I realized, you guys, I was a woman who always said, I will never be a stay-at-home mom. It's not for me. I can't do it. I would go crazy. And when he was about 3 months old, I would cry almost every day leaving the house. It felt so wrong to leave him at home. And I know that's not for everyone, right? Everyone's journey is different. But for me, I realized I wanted to be home with him. And what I made as a teacher was sad at that point. And I looked at Ben when I got home one day and I said, hey, if I stayed home next fall, this is what I'd have to do with my Beachbody business to make that happen. Would you support that? And my husband's like the most amazing person ever. I know Julianne would argue, but he is. And because Eric's awesome too, I know. He's so supportive, has always just been like, babe, we'll make it work, go after your dreams, that kind of thing. And we did. And it's been an incredible journey ever since then. But how it started, you guys, was Shakeology. So I went from being a newlywed to starting my first kindergarten teaching job ever. I gained 20 pounds the summer I got married. Yikes, right? So I'm starting this new job feeling kind of crappy, right? 20 pounds heavier. And like everything is new and you're nervous when something's new and just not feeling good. And I actually met Trina. I had her son, crazy, her son in my first kindergarten class ever. And that's kind of how all of this got started, because she invited me to the athletic club where I also work part-time. So that's a part of my story too. But when I started going to the athletic club, I met Sarah Morrison. She worked there already. And I had started drinking Shakeology on and off, kind of just being at the club and being exposed to it, because we have a juice bar at our gym where we sell Shakeology. It's a part of our boot camps. Like, it's just something that's a part of the community there now. And that first summer so I taught for a year. In that first summer, Trina was like, hey, what are you doing this summer? And I was like, I don't know, I'll probably work at JCPenney. And she was like, or you could come work at a really cool health club and like help people out with their health journey by working at the front desk. So I was like, okay, that's fun. And when I started doing that, because I was working more there, I started drinking Shakeology more. And Sarah said to me one day, hey, you can get a discount on this. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. Let's sign up. And I literally signed up because she said that to me that same day. For 2.5 years, though, I did nothing with the business. And you guys, if there's one thing that I wish I could share with everyone who chooses to sign up as a coach, it's do something small every day. You don't have to want to be a 10-star diamond coach to do something with this business or to help people with this business. But I'm telling you, if you're in this 3 years from now, you're just going to look back and be like, what the heck was I doing? I loved Shakeology, you guys. I used to get migraines at least once a month, if not 2 times a month, so bad to the point where once I was hospitalized with a migraine and put on an IV, and like, ridiculous, right? I maybe get 2, maybe 3 migraines a year now. And I know Shakeology is a huge part of that, right? So that's just part of my story. So now I'm part but full-time Beachbody, right? I never know how to say that, Julianne. Like, I do Beachbody. It's my full-time income now, but it's part-time, of course, working part-time. And then I work 20 hours a week at the athletic club. I'm a personal trainer. I teach group fitness. And now I've also received my nutrition certification online. I went to school for a year and am also the nutrition educator at Bay Athletic Club. So I meet with people doing that as well. Plus, I'm home with my kids 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays, which is super nice. So I'm part-time stay-at-home mom still. My daughter's, how old is she? Almost 15 months. And then my son is 4.5 now. So I kind of have the best of every world: Beachbody, working, being a stay-at-home mom. And I love it. I love it all. And we bought a house that the owners built in 1960, and we're currently fixing that up one room at a time as well. So it's all very exciting. Okay. Caitlin, yes, migraines. Oh, and Carrie, you just got certified as a fitness instructor. That's amazing. Good for you. It only adds to it. So Trina, you guys know Trina, she owns Bay Athletic Club. For her, it's never been a gym or at-home fitness. You can use language to talk about Beachbody in a way that incorporates both. Being in a group fitness class, there's nothing like that energy. I love Beachbody On Demand, but it's so stinking fun and effective. But for me, we travel a lot. Our family's 3 hours away. I do stay at home mom twice a week. Like, I need at-home fitness options too. And so does everyone else, right? Travel. I was doing shift shop in the UP of Michigan when we went camping one year. Like, who else can do that, right? So it's just really cool, the opportunity, if you use the right language. But we're here tonight to talk about some Shakeology and nutrition. So let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen here. I think I've got this down now. I've done this before, and I just need to move this little box over here. Let's see. I have too many little boxes happening. Okay. Let's see. Julianne, are we good? Thumbs up, girl. All right. So, Shakeology and nutrition, how to fuel yourself and your business for success. Goals today, for you to learn at least one new thing about Shakeology or nutrition, for you to gain new post ideas for your social media, for you to feel more confident when talking to people about Shakeology, and for you to gain a deeper belief in this company and what we stand for. Cool? All right, so I've mentioned Trina already a couple of times. Obviously, she's had a big impact on my life, not just in Beachbody, but my life, you guys. She invited me to Bay Athletic Club. Nothing from then on would have happened if it weren't for that invitation and her belief in me, becoming an instructor, changing careers, Beachbody changing our life. None of that would have happened. So this is one of her lessons. I think this was at a diamond retreat, Julianne, I'm pretty sure. She talked about the 3 pillars in the business: belief in the company, belief in yourself, and belief in the products. And she said, if you are missing even one of these, you won't go very far with this business. And it really spoke to me because I was missing a couple. I've always believed in the products, right? I started drinking Shakeology and right away I was hooked. I love it. I believe in it. It's something I use every day and something I could see and feel the difference in my body. I've struggled with belief in myself, which a lot of us have. And then with belief in the company, I wasn't quite sure because I had so much up and down with going from a teacher to working in fitness, but did I really belong in fitness, and to kind of finding my way. So belief in the company means, you guys, that no matter what anybody says to you, you 100% that Beachbody has your back. That Beachbody is using every resource possible to make sure that the products we put out are quality. Do you believe that? I had a coach say to me once, well, don't you ever wonder sometimes, is Shakeology really as good as they say it is? And I just looked at her and I said, nope, I really don't, because I really do believe 100% that the CEO, that the people he hires as the scientists and you guys, the team of people that are behind Shakeology is just incredible. I believe that they do that for a reason, not just for show, because they really want it to be quality. And you can see how they've changed the formula through the years to make it better. They don't just stick with what they have because it's making them money. They're constantly tweaking things to make it better for us and for our customers. Lucky for us, we don't have to do any of that, right? Belief in yourself, of course, a lot of that comes from personal development and your own experiences in life and what you're willing to see as a new way to look at things. So for you, maybe your hesitations right now with this company or with the products or with helping others, maybe it's your belief in yourself that you have a fear of you're not meant to work in health and wellness. Yes, you are. Maybe you believe that your story is not quite where it needs to be yet. Yes, it is. I'm sure Julianne talks about this a lot and shares these things with you guys, but just believe in yourself and believe that you know more than most people do. Just by being on a call like this, just by drinking Shakeology, and not just, right, but by doing these workouts, you already know so much more than the average person who's not even taking care of themselves. So believe in yourself. You have a lot to offer. And believe in the products, which I hope I can help with today. All right, so first, I'm going to start with the total opposite. I don't believe in shakes. So listen, I hear this a lot. And an example is I was talking to a woman who helps run a fitness studio out in Oklahoma. Her name's Danetta. And she said on the phone to me, she said, I don't believe in shakes though. So tell me about this Shakeology. Now here's the thing, you guys. When I went through my nutrition schooling, I really believed that what I would learn would deter me from Shakeology. I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to learn all this stuff and I'm not going to love Shakeology as much. It was the complete opposite. Every single thing I learned made me love Shakeology and appreciate Shakeology even more. And my favorite example to give is when they had a superfood guy up on the stage. His name was David, and he was in our lesson. He was up on a stage, and he had a table covered in superfoods. And he was like, you can find this on Amazon. You can find this on this online Whole Food, natural, whatever store. And he's naming the ingredients, and I'm like, that's in Shakeology. That's in Shakeology. That's in Shakeology. And he's like, so make yourself a shake every morning with all these ingredients. And I'm like, or I can just take a scoop out of my bag because it's already all in there, dude. And it just solidified for me my belief in this product, because everything he was saying, I'm like, Beachbody is obviously doing what they need to do. So I don't believe in shakes. You guys, I really truly wish that the food that was provided to us in stores and, on the shelf gave us the quality of nutrition that we need to function in our day. Hear me when I say it does not. So even people who eat raw, people who juice, they are not getting the quality of nutrients that they need to function as well as their body could be functioning if they were giving their body everything that's in Shakeology. It's a hard thing to explain to somebody who's eating really well, but they're just not getting it because of how our food is produced today, because of how it's stored, because of how it's transported, because of it being picked so much earlier than it needs to be in order to get it to where it's going, because all of these foods that we eat are not grown in our immediate area, right? We know that foods that are grown closest to us have the best nutrients. Most of our foods don't come from very close to us. So 9 out of 10 people are nutrient deficient. That means 9 out of 10 people you meet aren't getting the nutrients that they need for their body to run efficiently, for their body to run well. Well, we hear all the time, Shakeology fills the gaps. That's what this shake does. If someone says to you they don't need this shake, they're wrong. They just don't understand yet. And I'm going to help you with some of that language later on. So my husband and I have to do health screenings every year because we have an HSA and they'll put money in our account if we do a health screening and a blood draw, whatever. And every single year, our health screenings get better and better and better. And I know it's because of Shakeology. Of course, because we eat well and we live a healthy lifestyle. But because of Shakeology, you guys, my last health screening, she was like, your bad cholesterol is not registering. It's too low to even register on the test. And I was like, doing one of these, right? Because it's hard to explain to healthcare professionals sometimes too. And then I talked a little bit about my migraines and how those have gotten immensely better. I went to the doctor the other day to have a mole looked at. I know, random, but she said something to me about what medicines do you take? Do you take any ibuprofen or Tylenol or anything like that? And I said, no, I don't take anything. And you guys, the old me was taking Tylenol sometimes as a preventative if I knew my period was coming or the weather was going to change, because that's usually when I would get a migraine. And now I never take anything unless I absolutely have to. And if I get a migraine, I can take 2 Tylenol and it's gone within a couple of hours. And that's really rare. Most people, and I used to be out for a whole day. So it's just been game changing. So what does Shakeology do for us? I hope you already know this, but it stabilizes blood sugar. So this is being talked about more. I have a friend and client, Amy, who is diabetic, and her A1C levels went from an 11 to a 6. And if you know anything about that, that's incredible. Like within a year, that's really incredible, because she started working out, she lost 30 pounds, and she added Shakeology in every day. That's a big deal. All right. So don't be afraid to talk to people, especially, gosh, you guys, people who have diabetes need us, but don't feel like that's something that you can't talk to people about. It is low on the glycemic index. You can look that up so you understand that a little more. That could be a whole 20-minute conversation on its own, but that's important to know. It gives us a natural energy boost, right? Not a bunch of stimulants or crap put into Shakeology. Aids in weight loss by aiding in digestion and helping curb cravings. Of course, gives us digestive enzymes. This is a hot topic in the nutrition world right now. So this is something to talk to people about. So not people who are just starting, but maybe someone who comes to you and you're like, okay, they know a little bit about nutrition or food or how to eat. Talk to them about digestive enzymes. It helps break down food, your macros, and it matters for people, especially with food sensitivity. So if you're talking to anybody who has stomach issues, or they talk like, oh, my stomach hurts after I eat, that kind of thing, this will help. All right. Helps clear skin, grow nails, hair. Has anybody else noticed that? Their hair, nails, skin. I mean, right? Skin, it's amazing. Shakeology helps us right down to a cellular level by allowing our body to work more efficiently because it has what it needs to function well. Our body is a complicated machine and it needs so much, which I think the next slide, I really love how they talk about it, but lowers stress and builds immunity and so much more. So for you, you don't have to know everything about Shakeology or everything about nutrition to feel confident in talking to people. But you know what you do need to do is be informed. You have to take some action and take some initiative if you want to be informed so you can talk to people more confidently about this stuff. Shakeology has its own podcast called Inside Shakeology. They're super short, super powerful. Get the podcast and listen to them if you have not already. Look up the ingredients. You guys, if you haven't looked at your bag of Shakeology recently, do it. If you're talking to somebody who says, oh, you know, I'm feeling stressed. Oh, hey, you know, I hear you're feeling stressed. Did you know Shakeology has a proprietary adaptogen blend with all of these crazy superfoods, right? Some I can't pronounce still. And it's been used to help your body adapt and respond to the effects of stress. It actually helps your stress and build immunity. That's pretty cool. The next point here, research other shakes that people ask you about, just so you know. Don't just dismiss everything right away. I find that if we get defensive or dismissive, that turns people off. We can 100% believe in what we do and still respect that people think something else might be working for them. And maybe it is. This would probably work better, but they might not know or realize that yet. So look into it, but just so it enhances your knowledge and value of Shakeology even more, because then you'll know more about what they're doing and the difference between that and Shakeology. Have at least 3 concrete things that Shakeology has done for you so no one can argue with your story. Man, no one should be able to argue with your story. No one should be able to shake your belief in why you drink this shake. Are you there yet? And if you're not, you need to get to that point where no matter what anyone says to you about anything about Shakeology, you know that this is the best thing that you could be doing for your overall health from the inside out. Do you believe that? I do. I 100% believe that. And I've had people say some really rude or untrue things. You guys, when I was pregnant with my daughter, so she's almost 15 months now, I was pregnant with her and I told the nurse at my appointment that I drank my shake every day, that I wouldn't be taking a prenatal. I would just be drinking my Shakeology like I did for my son. She said the doctor didn't want me to do that. And I said, well, why? She said it was fine when I was pregnant with my son. And obviously I did that with my son. So I knew it was what I wanted to do. And I don't remember what she said, something about the vitamin A, which I already knew too much vitamin A can be dangerous. I know that. But she's like, oh, I think she just doesn't want you to drink 2. And I was like, well, I didn't say I was going to drink 2. I just drink 1 shake a day instead of taking a vitamin, right? I'd rather drink something that comes from plants than take a pill out of a bottle that's made in a factory and I don't know the quality of those vitamins and minerals. Not judging, right? You do what works for you. I'm just saying, I know I've done enough research on Shakeology to know where the ingredients come from. Can you say that about the vitamin that you take or the prenatal that you take, right? So then she says, oh, I see you get migraines once in a while. What a lot of people do if they get a migraine is drink a Mountain Dew. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So you're telling me not to drink my shake, but to drink a Mountain Dew when I'm pregnant if I get a migraine because the caffeine will help take my migraine away. Now, I already know I've had migraines for long enough to know that caffeine can help with your migraine recovery. It doesn't for me anymore. Actually, for those of you who get migraines, I totally cut caffeine out, and they're even better than they were before. Excuse me. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Almost good timing. Okay. So this is what I love right here. Anyway, to wrap up that story with the nurse, it just blows my mind sometimes. In the medical field, they just don't know and understand. Oh, we were doing so good. Sorry. And that's not everybody in the medical field. It's just frustrating that I I didn't go to school in the medical field, but I know I've done my own research, and it was just sad to me that she would tell any pregnant person to drink Mountain Dew. You guys, I have a short list. I don't usually ever tell anyone not to eat anything specifically. I think restriction is hard for people. It makes it worse. But I do have my own personal short list of nevers, and I consider, in my head, I consider these things like poison. Like, you put it in your body, you're poisoning yourself. What's the point? Mountain Dew is on that list, right? So for her to say that to me and me laughing, like, I'm not going to do that. And then she thought I was being rude, but it just seems crazy to me. Anyway, I love this. While each and every ingredient in Shakeology has a strength of its own, when partnered with the right supporting ingredient, they form a bond that's undeniably stronger than when they stand on their own. Shakeology is specially formulated so all of its ingredients work together like a symphony, and this harmonious combination is so effective that many people report health and digestive improvements within the very first week. Boom. Take a screenshot of that if you want to. Okay, take a moment. Julianne, usually if you are on a Zoom and you like have them journal, do you play music or no? Okay. Some people it's distracting. Other people are like, yeah, put on some Metallica. Let's get to work. Okay, take a moment. Write down 3 things you love about Shakeology and why. Write down 2 things you believe Shakeology has that no other shakes have. And write down what Shakeology is for you. This is part of your belief and your story and your truth. Is it your breakfast? Is it your fast food? Is it your vitamin? What has it replaced or changed for you? Be specific. And this is where you can get post ideas, right? I'm going to give you about another 30 seconds here. And Julianne, I can see the little orange thing on the chat is like blowing up, but I can't see it while I'm on. So if there's anything, are you taking note? Okay, love it. I know you're on it, girl. Okay, so maybe for some of you it's breakfast, right? And a really great post that would speak to a lot of people is to talk about breakfast. Some people think breakfast doesn't matter. It really does. If you're not starting your day drinking water and then eating something, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you want good weight loss and you want to feel better throughout your day, the beginning of your day is when you start that. So when you're talking to people, if they don't eat breakfast, this is, oh my gosh, you guys, if they're not eating breakfast and they start drinking a shake instead of doing nothing, they've already transformed their health, right? So you can say that to people. You will transform your health by, instead of skipping breakfast, drinking a shake. Or maybe you're talking to somebody who eats fast food 2 times a day, every day of the week. I just met with somebody who does that. That seems crazy. I don't know how they're not exhausted and miserable all the time. Fast food's on my short list too. I haven't eaten McDonald's since I've been like 16. Not that I was interested in nutrition at that point. I still ate plenty of other crap, but I've just never been able to tolerate fast food real well. So I can't imagine eating it twice a day every day, right? Hopefully that gave you a minute or 2 to think. I'm a talker if you can't tell, so. All right, we have to remember where most people are coming from. This is their norm. Most people are eating fast food, not drinking enough water, skipping meals, not eating at home. They don't know how to cook. They think microwave vegetables are the healthiest thing they're eating, which is sad. They feel like crap and don't realize it. We have to keep things simple, okay? So if we go right into a conversation, which you guys know, like, we can't just go into a conversation spewing all this information at them. But what if we can simply say, hey, wouldn't it feel better if your digestion was super great every day? And that allows your body to absorb more nutrients more effectively, which helps your brain work better, which gives you more energy. You'll have fewer headaches, right? There's so many things that come from having a clear gut. Do you know, you guys, how many people without Shakeology, without those pre and probiotics and digestive enzymes, how many people's guts are like, there's just crap. I mean, literally and figuratively, just crap crammed in their intestines, blocking their body from being able to absorb nutrients. None of that is good. Okay. So this helps. And when that stuff's blocked up in their intestines, that encourages disease to grow, which is scary. 50% of all cancers can be avoided by what you put in your mouth. 50%. So while I go through this next section, which are objections to Shakeology, because I thought that would be helpful for you guys, you can feel free to type in the chat, and I'm sure Julianne will take notes. What are your most common objections to Shakeology? I'm going to cover the ones that I get the most. And what do people say or ask about Shakeology when they're unsure? So just like conversation or comments that they make. So objection number one, it's expensive. Who hears this? Yeah, all the time. All right, so always validate how they feel first. For some people, this is a lot of money. For some people, they don't understand the quality. They don't understand how they'll feel. So what I've said more recently to people is it's an upfront value. Most people don't go to the store and buy 30 meals at a time. And people can relate to that, especially if they have a family. And not that they can't if they don't, but imagine buying food for 30 meals for a family of 4 or 6. That would be extremely expensive to go and do. Most people shop 1 or 2 weeks at a time, right? So I love Beachbody, and my belief in the company solidified even more when Darren O'Lean was speaking at Summit. Was it 2 years ago, Julianne? Maybe 3 years ago. He's hilarious, by the way, and a little bit crazy, but also very smart and great at what he does. But he was saying that when Beachbody first reached out to him, he said, if you mess with my shake, I'll take it somewhere else. And I was like, go, Darren. I like you even more. That's awesome. Because he didn't want this to be a quick fix weight loss shake like what was already on the market. He struggles with an autoimmune disease too and figured out food can heal and food made him feel better. He wanted to package food in a way to help the masses, to help more people feel good with what they put in their body. And he told Beachbody, if you're going to mess with my shake, I'm going to take it somewhere else. I love that. So, questions to ask people when they talk about it being expensive. Well, what are they eating? What do you eat for lunch every day? I had a conversation with a woman about this recently, and she was saying she eats out every day. Well, how much does that cost you? This is less expensive. You have to help people see it tangibly. When you say $130, that sounds like a lot. You have to take a step back and break it down and help them see, help them get over their excuses. Where does their money go? I've been saying more to people now too, hey, I'm so glad you're interested in this. You know, that's a bummer. It's too expensive right now. I probably wouldn't say it like that, but I would say, hey, is this something that you could put money aside for over the next few weeks so you can give it a try for 30 days? I know you're going to feel amazing. And if you don't, you can get your money back. So encourage people like, can you put $15 aside each week or $20 aside each week? If they're serious about trying it, I don't mind waiting for people to try it. But if they say, oh, it's just too expensive, are you giving them that option to save money? And then are you following up with them in a month or so and saying, hey, have you been putting money aside? Is this something that's going to work for you this month or next month, right? And then, of course, always inviting to the team. I can help you earn your money back and get your Shakeology paid for by helping you help 3 people every month fall in love with Shakeology too, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so curious about what's happening in the chat. Okay, objection number 2, it has so much sugar. Of course, Shakeology, yes, Shakeology has sugar. So you know what drives me crazy? And I love that Weight Watchers has changed their plan now. Their points are different and like all fruits and veggies are free or something. I haven't looked into it a whole ton, but I do know they changed it. So Weight Watchers had a lot of points on Shakeology, and I've had a few people not drink it because of that. Not like saying Weight Watchers is bad, you guys. It's helped a ton of people, a close friend of mine included. But Shakeology has sugar from plants. So this is my favorite part of this. To put it into perspective, there are 14 grams of sugar in a medium banana. Are you not going to eat bananas? Right? And 19 grams of sugar in a medium apple. I love apples. Okay? What's important to remember is sugar is not bad for you. Your body uses it for energy. The sugar in Shakeology is easily digested compared to artificial sweeteners. So really, it does not have that much sugar. This is the kind of stuff that people say that drives me crazy. It has so much sugar. No, actually, it doesn't. Not at all. About half the sugar, less than half the sugar of an apple. I try not to get too sassy with people. I try to be matter of fact, but I am pretty direct, so sometimes it gets a little blurred. Objection number 3, I don't want to drink my meal. I hear this a lot too, and I used to be that person who said this, so I already know what to say to people. Have something crunchy to go with it. Have some carrots and hummus. Have some celery. Have some cashews with your shake. You don't just have to drink your shake, right? Or if it's at breakfast, you can have your shake and a piece of toast with peanut butter. What? You can eat something with your shake? That's crazy. Yes, you can. So you can still eat, and this could be like your beverage, or think of it as a snack. You guys, if you're talking to athletes, Shakeology shouldn't be a meal replacement. So you got to think about your customers here. Shakeology is a meal replacement if somebody needs to lose more, I would say more than 10 to 15 pounds. Otherwise, if they're adding in fitness, Shakeology, keep the shake simple, okay? Shakeology should be the shake and some ice and almond milk before or after workout as a pre or post-workout snack, especially if you're talking to athletes or somebody who's training for something, lifting a lot, doing more than an hour of intentional fitness every day. Women need at least 1,500 calories in the day just to function well. Okay, we don't want to restrict too much, but calories are important too. There's a really fine balance. There's a fine line, and everyone is different. Some people, a shake is perfect for breakfast. I usually have mine for lunch with something else. Okay, it depends on the person, but it should be looked at more of as a protein than anything else, as a macro, right? Or you can make it into ice cream if you want it for dessert. So if somebody really struggles with sweets, you can send them, this one's just off the Beachbody blog, a recipe for Shakeology ice cream. Like, hey, I hear that you're saying you eat ice cream 4 to 5 times a night. Would you be willing to try Shakeology and make your own ice cream with it and see if that does the trick for you before you go to bed? It's not the best thing, right? But it's better than eating ice cream before bed. Objection number 4, I don't like it. I don't like how it tastes. Some people are weird about the texture. Listen, it gets to a point sometimes where people are just being nitpicky, okay? Sometimes they're just not ready. But there are so many flavors, and they're all different. There's 2 great ways to make a shake, I feel like. More than that, but really it's either like a milkshake or like a smoothie, like a fruit smoothie, more icy. There's usually a recipe that works for people. They just have to figure it out. Okay. Now, for people who say it upsets their stomach, they need to try vegan. That's what I drink, vegan Shakeology. Or if they say they feel bloated, if they say it hurt their stomach, anything like that, suggest the vegan. Because you guys, at the end of the day, dairy is not meant for people. Dairy comes from a cow. It's meant for baby cows to grow from a baby cow into a 2,000-pound animal. Dairy's not meant for us. Dairy's meant for baby cows. Our body does struggle to digest and use dairy well because it's not meant for us. That includes all dairy products, all right? Some people tolerate certain dairy products better than others, but as we age, we all become a little bit more intolerant to dairy. So when I first started drinking Shakeology, some of that comes from it clearing out your system, right? So if they're like, oh, my stomach hurt, or oh my gosh, I pooped like 4 times today, that's probably because they've been eating like crap, and this is a shock to their system getting all this good stuff in it, right? If it continues after that or they feel bloated, it could be the protein. So the protein in the vegan does not come from dairy, right? It comes from plants. So it's a little easier on your system, a little bit easier to digest. A couple other notes on how to make your shake. My husband doesn't use ice in his shake at all. I know, total weirdo. Just almond milk, banana, and peanut butter. He has the same recipe every day with the chocolate shake. You can try some Greek yogurt or try not using Greek yogurt, different fruits, veggies. I have this woman, her name's Angel. She does every single challenge group. She takes a picture of the table after she makes her shake. Every day is different. Like one day it might be pineapple. I'm making stuff up here. Pineapple, kale, and chia seeds. And then the next day it might be like spinach and avocado and something random like mangoes. I'm not kidding. Like she puts the craziest stuff together, but she loves it. She loves different recipes and throwing them together, which is cool. And objection number 5, we talked about a little. The shake I drink is cheaper. So I said earlier, just look into what other people are doing. Sarah Morrison actually just recently asked me, she had a woman message her and say, hey, I drink this other shake. It's certified organic, blah, 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 all this other stuff, which is great, right? There are other good products on the market. I just don't personally believe anything is as comprehensive as Shakeology. It doesn't have everything that Shakeology does. And you guys, if you want to know why Beachbody hasn't certified this organic, it's because of how many ingredients are in Shakeology. If even one thing changed, they'd have to redo the entire certification, and that would be really expensive. So they do a really great job making sure that the ingredients are grown in their natural habitat, right? Like on the top of a mountain somewhere, not here in the US in a greenhouse. They're going to location to get the fruits and vegetables and plants. That's awesome. But if they tried to certify everything organic, it would just be crazy expensive. And like I said, if they change one thing, they'd have to do it all over again. So I love this video. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Hold on, let me see. I have it started a little. Julianne, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Con los estudios realizados, sabemos que la región San Martín en particular dentro del Perú es una de las regiones privilegiadas porque tiene las condiciones edafoclimáticas para que el sachaichi pueda adaptarse y producir bien. So by us putting sashaichi in something like Shakeology, we're providing income for other farmers. Ciertamente. And on top of it, sashaichi is so nutritious. Amino acids, essential fatty acids, minerals, calcium, magnesium, definitely a must in Shakeology. Here we are in Julianne, over 12,000 feet. The only thing that grows here is maca. If you smell it, it's a strong, pungent smell. It was one of those things that as ancient Peruvians, the women would give their men before they went off to battle. Maca, pure energy source, grown in nature and delivered in Shakeology. There it is. Woo! Yeah, cacao. Como no hay cuchillo, se puede romper. Natural, feel good. Probably one of the most mineral-packed foods on the planet. Es una plantación orgánica donde no interviene ningún producto químico y solamente en el manejo se utiliza herramientas manuales. Ink and gold, ¿no? Es el oro del Inca. Así es. Traditionally, after they peel this, they actually soak this overnight, grind it into a meal, and they consume it regularly.
Okay. So you can see, let's see. Aha. I'm getting so good at this. So you can see, like, that's Darren, by the way. I have a tiny crush on his brain. Not him, his brain. Maybe him too, a tiny bit. you can see the care that goes into it, right? Like he's been to these places, he's talked to the farmers, he's trying the foods. It's not like Beachbody was like, okay, what are the 10 most popular superfoods? Let's put it in a shake, right? So if you haven't watched that video in its entirety, go to YouTube and find it and watch it. You can send that to people if they're unsure about Shakeology. It has great information in it. And it's just like, I love the music and the vibe, and it just feels so genuinely real as far as him and what he cares about. And I love that. So what we do need to remember is that this is a processed food. So when we're telling people to eat less processed foods, we do have to keep in the back of our head, Shakeology is processed. We wouldn't be able to get all of these amazing foods and superfoods and plants in this form if we didn't process it, right? That would be extremely expensive and take a really long time. And I'm not going to go to all these other places to find these foods. But Beachbody makes sure, and you'll hear this in the podcast if you've listened to it or if you're going to listen to it, they make sure the quality and the care that goes into processing these foods is above and beyond. And that's really what sets this shake apart. So you guys, really bottom line, if people aren't ready or willing, they'll figure out an excuse, right? We don't have to feel like it's our job to convince people that this is right for them. It's our job to know the value, to educate ourselves, to share what we're doing and why, to build people's trust. I tell my coaches all the time, it can take 6 to 9 months of showing up every day, of course, in your business, which is your social media, on social media, showing that it's working for you and talking about it before people start to trust you. That sounds like a long time, but really it's not, right? People don't trust what they don't know, but if they know you and you keep showing up, they'll start to trust you more. So you have to decide what you believe to be true. You have to decide what your story is and what your truth is, and what it comes down to, those 3 pillars in the business. Where is your belief at? So like I said, it's not our job to convince people. It's our job to show up confidently and show what's working for us. And ta-da!
Yay, that's so good. It is so good. I do have a couple of questions. Hey, if you guys have questions, I literally took like 5 pages of notes. I'm so excited. One, I need to talk about Shakeology more. I definitely talk about how it's my 70 ingredient snack. Like, where are you having a snack that's 70 ingredients? And I talk about how it's my prenatal, but there's way more things I can talk about with this. And I love the resources. You're just resourceful. And thanks for sharing that. I'm pumped about that. Someone asked, one, you handled every objection that they put in the chat. The biggest one was price. Someone talked about it, the taste, drinking meals, chalky. And then you're like, people are just going to be like nitpicky. Like, you just have to like keep on going. So it was really awesome. But something,
that, seriously, try to suggest Greek yogurt and no ice. And it, for some reason, I don't know. And then, Julianne, I'm sorry, just one side note that I knew it was in there somewhere, but I think I forgot to mention it. I do give regular Shakeology or vegan, I mean Shakeology, not Daily Sunshine, to both my kids. So I drank it through pregnancy, through breastfeeding, and then once they turned one, I started giving them some of their own. And now my son is 4.5, and he drinks a shake every day with us. And he loves it. He asks for them. So when people ask if it's safe for kids, yes, it's safe for kids. And I really, truly believe, so you guys, my background's education, but it's early childhood education. So from birth to 5, and what I know to be true is from birth to 3, their neurological connections are going like crazy. And nutrition plays such a huge role in that. And you will actually up your kids' intelligence by giving them more quality nutrition from birth to 3 and keeping crap out. From birth to 2, I don't give my kids sugar. Like, you might think that's weird, but not like a bite of cookie or a taste of ice cream in the summer. They don't need it. They're going to have plenty of ice cream in their life. But from birth to 3, if it's those most important years for neurological connections and it's connected to nutrition, that's on me to make sure I'm giving them their best potential to become their most intelligent selves. And I believe that Shakeology has been a huge piece of that, especially for my son. My daughter's only 1, so we don't know yet, but my son's 4.5, and he just took a kindergarten screening and read a 2nd grade book to the lady. And she was like, oh, honey, I don't usually have kids read this book. And he's like, I want to read it. And he read it to her. And I was like, go, Grayson. Like, that's a little mom brag moment too. Obviously, teaching background, I know how to talk to him to help him read well. But I mean, that's not just me though. He's 4.5. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, so it is safe for kids. I personally believe, right? I'm not a doctor. If there's medical things happening, always talk to a doctor. But I do personally believe it is safe for pregnancy through breastfeeding and for kids. That's just my personal belief.
Did you say Shakeology and Sunshine or just Shakeology?
Yeah, no, I think Daily Sunshine's great for kids. I love that it's organic. I love that it's, you know, all the things, soy-free, dairy-free, right? I love Daily Sunshine. I started Grayson on Shakeology before Daily Sunshine came out because it's, 3 years old now? Maybe 4?
Right.
Anyway, and Ben's always like, why don't we just get some Daily Sunshine and start Charlie on it, because she's only 1 and we just started giving her some Shakeology. And I keep thinking about it, then I keep forgetting because we just have Shakeology in the house. That's what we always did for Grayson. So yeah, I would choose, like if I was a brand new mom, I would probably do Daily Sunshine before Shakeology for my kids, just because it has those extra labels of the organic and dairy-free and soy-free and GMO-free and all that good stuff. And they took a lot of time to do that. So it just doesn't have as many superfoods as Shakeology.
This has nothing to do with the question I'm actually going to ask you, but I think that this is good for all the moms on here and the dads, for eating healthy in your household, for picky eaters. Do you feel like because you eat so well that that's just the expectation in your house? Like, how is that with having kids in your house?
Oh my gosh. So you guys, we do this thing called a thank you bite. Anything I make, I always put on their plate. Well, I say they. Charlie right now is eating almost everything because she's 1 and everything's still new and tastes great. She'll start spitting things out soon, I'm sure. All kids go through a phase, and our taste buds change every 7 years. So if your kid is like refusing to eat vegetables now, don't worry. Give them a Daily Sunshine, and I'm sure they'll eat their vegetables when they're older. Anyway, so we have a thank you bite where he has to take 1 bite of anything I put on his plate before he says he doesn't want it. And you know, the funniest thing is he usually ends up liking what we make. So like we had asparagus the other night and my mother-in-law was over, and sometimes I can't stand eating with her because anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I made asparagus. Grayson's sitting there eating it like this, and she won't touch it, right? And it's funny, and Grayson's like, why aren't you taking a thank you bite? And I'm like, haha, like, that's so funny. And another mom win because my 4-year-old's sitting there eating asparagus thinking it's cool. But yeah, you guys, it's what we model becomes normal. And for our kids, if they're seeing us eat the vegetables, if they're seeing us only drink water, my kids only drink water. That's a personal rule I have for my kids in our house. We don't do juice at all. I think it's unnecessary and it's extra sugar in their day, and I think it bogs down their brain. I really just do. We really only do water. So that's just a side note, but something to consider if you do a lot of juice or your kids do a lot of apple juice, it's really not necessary, or water it down or start cutting back. They just don't need that extra sugar in their day. Kids should only have 16 grams of added sugar in their day in the entirety, and some yogurts have more than that. Some kids' yogurts have more than 16 grams of sugar. So just something to think about. Oh, yay, Jill, no juice here. I love it. And right, there's never any judgment with wherever you're at in your own journey and what you feed your kids. I haven't used a microwave in over 3 years either, and people think that's crazy. I said that to a woman once, and she was like, you don't use a microwave? What do you eat? And I'm like, wow. I don't heat up food in a microwave. I don't believe that food that comes in boxes meant for a microwave is real food. We just don't. We don't do it. So when we redo our kitchen, a microwave's not even going to be in the plans. Like, it's just interesting to me how things look different now, and what what food products are out there that are advertised as healthy, but they're really not. It's just informing yourself, you guys. And if you eat bagged microwavable vegetables one night, don't feel like you're doing something wrong. Of course, sometimes it actually can be better than fresh, depending on where the fresh food was picked from, how long it was transported, how many nutrients it's lost, because sometimes frozen veggies do preserve more nutrients since they're picked and frozen right away. That's a real thing. So that's another example. It's just one of those things. But anyway, yeah, super important to role model for your kids. Keep things out of their eyesight that you don't want them to have. And like my son asked me the other day what a donut is, and I thought it was hilarious because I was like, oh God, you're 4.5 and you're asking me what a donut is. He's maybe had like 2 his whole life, which is funny, but he'll have plenty of donuts, so I'm not really that worried about it. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's just so good because, I mean, I just even think, I think for all of you moms and dads on here who have kids, like, I think it's just like, I think about when I started my journey 5 years ago, I thought lean cuisines were healthy. I really did. I just didn't know. When I look at my shopping cart now versus before, it's just, I started making small changes every day. I always had milk and cereal. I thought that Special K Chocolatey Delight was a great choice. And I secretly just wanted part of the chocolate. And it being like, oh, I can eat this. And I think just when I started to even process how I felt, once I started incorporating Shakeology and healthier things, I started to make adjustments, right? And so I think for all the families on here, I think, like, don't struggle with the guilt part of it. We just don't know. Like, I think it's just having this conversation. Awareness breeds responsibility. And just knowing, like, I mean, I don't know how you would feel about this, Amanda, but just that whole thing of like 100% clean 80% of the time is way better than 50% of the time, right? Where it's just like making those small adjustments each time that we go. There is a question. If you know the answer to this, does cooking change the nutrients of Shakeology? So when people make like the warm cake thing or freeze it, we love freezing Shakeology chocolate. Well, Eric loves freezing the chocolate Shakeology. By the way, you guys, he's like, oh, I'm having chocolate tonight. And I'm like, Eric, it's chocolate Shakeology. Like, you're not cheating. Like, he thinks he literally is eating a whole thing of like Crunch Bars or something. I'm like, it's chocolate Shakeology. You are fine. But we coconut oil, mix that, whatever. So what are your thoughts on that?
I am not sure about heating it. I do know heating food, you do lose nutrients. So anytime you cook anything, you lose some nutrients. So I would assume it's the same for Shakeology, but I'm not 100% sure on the formula. I don't believe with freezing things you do, though. It's heat, I believe, that you lose nutrients. And then just 2 quick things, Julianne, on the 80-20. Yes, you guys, like my downfall personally with my nutrition is sweets. I love cookies. I love brownies. I don't eat dairy anymore, so not ice cream. But if you put some almond milk ice cream in front of me, I'd probably eat it. And it's just a part of who I am. And I don't believe that I'll go the rest of my life forever never eating cake or cookies again because it tastes good and the foods we enjoy lower our stress. That's why emotional eating is such an issue. When you eat something you love, it lowers your stress and makes you feel better. That's a real thing. That's why drinking a glass of red wine at night, they say it's good for you. Do you know why? Because it relaxes you and lowers your stress. Stress is one of the absolute worst things for you. Don't stop eating everything you love, right? I still eat sweets and I know that it's not fueling me, but it's part of my 20. So the 80-20 is something I really love and believe in, right?
And I think just knowing, like, every time we put something in our mouth, it's either nutritious or it's not.
Yes.
And
not good or bad. Oh my gosh, I talk to people about this all the time. So it's not good or bad. Don't say you're bad because you ate pizza. It's just,
I probably got this from you, really. I probably heard you say that. But it's either nutritious or it's not. And then it's like, oh, this is not a nutritious choice. Next time I will. And that's why I love this journey. This journey is not about being 100% perfection, whatever. And I hope more than anything from this call, all of you have more belief in this team, more belief in this company and the products and yourself and what you can do with this, because I think what we have access to is better. People aren't protein deficient, they're nutrient deficient. There's just things that I heard you say, and it just makes me really excited for the mission that we're on, is that we want to live healthy, fulfilling lives. And the fact that you get to change your kitchens, the way you're living and modeling, right? What we model, that was everything that you said, that your kids and your family, they're naturally going to work out or eat better than most. I think about that with like, this is so ridiculous that I'm even saying this, but Wyatt sees me work out every day. I think about that's going to be my child one day, right? Like you see Wyatt in all my videos, soon it's going to be my baby. And that's all my baby is going to see me do, is not work out to lose weight, to be skinny, to do any of that, but to work out to be healthy and to feel more powerful and to feel more strong. And so when we're eating better, and when you said most people don't eat meals at home, I'm like, wait, what? They don't? Like, this is so weird. It's true. Where like at least our kids are going to be getting meals at home, right? That you guys are doing that. So Amanda, you are amazing, and your knowledge is just so incredible, and we are so grateful that you gave us your time. I'm really excited. I'm going to tag you in the picture that we take after this. Hopefully I screenshot it today. Emily, get my back, girl. Have my back. Take the picture, because sometimes I screenshot it and it doesn't work. And I want you to read their takeaways, because I have so many takeaways. You guys can get on camera. Let's take a picture. I'm going to hit end record.